Hey everyone, 6192 here, ready to make this video real quick. Today's date is January 8, 2012. This is the video regarding the second day of Wildcard Weekend in the NFL Playoffs, the road to Super Bowl 46. And without further ado, let me just go and give you the recap of today's games that acquired today. Alright, so the first game on the slate today was the 1 o'clock game. The Atlanta Falcons, the wildcard team, the number one wildcard team in the NFC, going to the division-winning NFC East champion New York Giants. And we kick it off with this one. There's no score in the first quarter. It was 0-0 throughout the first quarter. But second quarter, that's when points were finally put on the board, and it was by Atlanta. They ended up getting a safety on but do a penalty on Eli Manning. It's 2-0. But then from there, just it turned out to be a disaster for Atlanta from there. New York, from there, they scored every single point. Hakeem Nicks ended up scoring a 4-yard touchdown pass from Eli Manning at the end of the second, which made the halftime score 7-2. And then from there, New York just piled it on with a field goal from Lawrence Tynes in the middle way of the third. And then Hakeem Nicks making this long 72-yard grab for a touchdown from Eli. And then the final score of the day was a Mario Manningham 27-yard touchdown pass from Eli. Final score was 24-2. New York ended up winning against Atlanta. They're going to go into Green Bay next week as the visiting team, a rematch of this year's game. Green Bay ended up winning the original meeting, but yeah, anything can happen, of course. And this is the first playoff win at home that New York has had since 2000 in the NFC Championship game against the Minnesota Vikings. That was the first home playoff game they've won. So, yeah, New York, they go on. They're going to go and play against the Packers next week in Lambeau. And Eli had a pretty good game. Let me just give you some stats real quick. Eli had a pretty good game. 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, 277 yards. The defense really went good today against Atlanta. Matt Ryan was held to no touchdown passes. The running back was not good. Michael Turner, 15 carries, 41 yards. Defense is really just crucial for New York. They have a really good defense. I'm really looking forward to seeing how the game will go on Sunday. And Brandon Jacobs and Ahmad Bradshaw had really good games. Both had 14 carries total. Well, both had 14 carries individually. Brandon had 92 yards and Ahmad had 63. And Hakeem Nicks, the leading receiver for the Giants, had 6 receptions for 115 yards and 2 touchdowns. Anyways, Giants win. They're going to go to play Lambeau next week. Alright, so on to the second slate of the game. The 4:30 game was the Pittsburgh Steelers, the defending AFC champions. They're going to be going into Denver, the Mile High City, to play against the Denver Broncos, who won the AFC West. Now, Pittsburgh, of course, being the wild card team, but is the major favorite in this game. Alright, so now to begin the game. First quarter, Pittsburgh ended up putting up the first points. They had the ball a long time. They had the possession on offense more than what Denver did, but they could only capitalize on field goals. The first quarter score was 6-0 Pittsburgh. But then the second quarter was Tebow time, let alone the Denver time. Eddie Royal ends up catching a 30-yard pass, which from Tim Tebow, which ended up putting Denver up leading 7-6 after the extra point from Matt Prater. Then 3 minutes later, about 10:36 left in the second quarter, Tim Tebow runs the ball in for a touchdown on an 8-yard scamper. It's 14-6. Denver's up over Pittsburgh. Then to cap off the second quarter, it's 2 field goals from Matt Prater from 20 and 28 yards, respectively. It's 20-6 at the end of the first half. Denver is up on the defending AFC champion Pittsburgh Steelers. We smell upset coming along, but as we see it, Pittsburgh is trying to make a comeback. Third quarter, the only score that happened was a Mike Wallace run. Ends up being 20-13. Pittsburgh's trying to come back. Denver's still leading. Denver does get a field goal at the beginning part of the fourth quarter. It's 23-20 from the beginning part of the fourth quarter, but then this is when Pittsburgh starts to make their comeback. Sanch Wiesen makes a field goal at the beginning part of the fourth, and then Jericho Contry, 31-yard touchdown reception from Big Ben Roethlisberger. Big Ben's only throwing touchdown of the game, I believe. And yes, indeed it was. But that was actually capped off from a fumble that Willis McGahee had, and that's when Pittsburgh capitalized on that, getting the ball back, and ended up throwing a touchdown from Big Ben to Cotchery. Now, Big Ben had been aggravated his ankle really bad throughout the game. He took a hit in, I believe, the first half or so, and ended up rolling that bad ankle. And so it was really effective towards him. It really affected his play, let's put it that way. So, Pittsburgh actually had the ball again, and they were trying to drive it downfield. They were at one point in close towards the range of Sean Sweeson, but they ended up getting knocked back, a few miscues, and Pittsburgh does not get to score any points before the end of regulation. So now we go to the overtime, all right? Now, the overtime in the playoffs are different from years previous. It's the first time playoff overtime has been, for this year has been implemented. Pretty much the team that has the ball first, if they score a touchdown, the game's over. But let's say if, a team had scored a field goal, the other team gets the ball back. All right, they either have a chance to score a field goal or get a touchdown. If they score a field goal, they go and do it all over again. But if the other team scores a touchdown, you're looking at pretty much the end of the game as well. So, coin flip, Denver gets the ball. All right, and they kick it off. It's a touchback ball at the 20-yard line. So, 80-yard drive to score for Denver. And guess what? It happens. Just merely 11 seconds into the beginning part of the overtime session, Demaryius Thomas, 80-yard touchdown reception from Tim Tebow, all the way to pay dirt. Denver, they upset the Pittsburgh Steelers 29-23. Denver's going to Foxborough next week to play the Patriots. Wow, very, very, very impressive game for sure. Let me just get some stats real quick. Let's see. Tim Tebow. He had some pretty high yardage today, 316 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. He may have only completed 10 passes, but wins is what matters, especially in the playoffs, and I'll have something to say about Tim Tebow at the end of this. But Big Ben, he didn't have such a great game. He did throw a touchdown, he did throw an interception. He's probably kind of glad that the season ended because I know the ankle probably is bothering him. Hopefully he's nothing serious wrong. Tim Tebow was the only one that scored running touchdown for Denver today. 10 carries for 50 yards total, and McGahee also had 19 carries for 61 yards. Isaac Redman gets a second career start, I believe, first or second career start, and he does pretty good. 17 carries, 121 yards. Isaac Redman, nice. If he doesn't go to a different team or something, he's really good running back. Pittsburgh they're really lucky that they had another running back after Rashad Mendenhall went down last week with that torn ACL. And then the receiving core, Sanders was the leading one for Pittsburgh with 6 receptions, 81 yards. Cotchery was the only one that scored a touchdown on passing-wise for Pittsburgh. And then Demaryius Thomas, 4 receptions, but 204 yards. That's impressive. Touchdown right there. Of course, that was in overtime. And then Eddie Royal, 3 receptions for 49 yards on the touchdown. Now, before I go any further, I'm just going to say this. Tim Tebow, you can talk about whatever he is. You can talk trash. You can say whatever. But Tim Tebow is an athlete. And that's all anyone can ask for. He gives his heart, and he plays hard. That's all anyone can ask for. Tim Tebow is a very, very hard-working athlete. He may not have the prettiest ball. He may not be the best player, but, hey, he works hard, and he has heart. I mean, it's like this. I always learned that if you don't got heart, you ain't got shit. And that's what he has. He has heart and determination and hard working. He's been through adversity with people saying he couldn't be a quarterback in the NFL. Well, you know what? He just won the playoff game for him. Ended up throwing an 80-yard touchdown reception. I respect Tim Tebow more than any player in the NFL, pretty much just for his dedication and hard work. You can have your own opinions. That's fine, but that's my opinion. All right, anyways, just real quick to the slates for next week. On Saturday, 4:30, New Orleans will be going to San Francisco to play the 49ers. 49ers, their first playoff appearance since 2002. They're the 2nd seed. And then at 8 o'clock will be the AFC matchup. Denver, Tim Tebow and the Broncos are going to Foxborough to play Tom Brady and the New England Patriots, who are the number 1 seed. Now on Sunday, January 15th, we're going to be seeing the Houston Texans, a rematch of earlier the regular season, It'll be TJ Yates and the Texans facing Joe Flacco and the Baltimore Ravens, a rematch from earlier this year. And then at 4:30, the New York Giants are going to go to Lambeau and play against Green Bay, the defending Super Bowl champions. Well, that's all I got to say for tonight. Hope y'all enjoyed the games for this wild card weekend and get ready for the divisional round. I'll try to make a video within the middle part of the week, but I'm definitely doing a recap video again. Anyways, that's the real deal, y'all. Hope you have a great night, great day whenever you watch this video, and God bless you. Have a great night, everyone. That's all I got to say. Peace out.